My friends, your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind, these are the four gateways that determine the quality of your life. If you cannot control them, they will control you, and when they control you, you become a prisoner inside your own body. The way you speak determines the bridges you build, or the bridges you burn. Your mood can be the wind in your sails, or the storm that sinks your ship. Your money is a tool. It can build security, or it can dig you into debt. And your mind is the master of it all. In the Shi Heng way we are taught, before you move the body, still the mind. Before you speak, still the tongue. Before you spend, still the desire. When you learn to control these four: mouth, mood, money, mind, you are no longer a victim of impulse. You are a master of self. In the Shi Heng tradition, there is a saying, the tongue has no bones, yet it is strong enough to break a heart. Your words carry a power far greater than you realize. They can plant seeds of hope or spread the poison of doubt. And yet, most people throw words into the air without care, like sparks in a dry forest, not realizing the fire they might start. When you master the pause before speaking, you take back control of this power. You learn that silence is not weakness, it is discipline. The pause is a moment of clarity, a fraction of time where emotion and wisdom meet. It's the space where you decide, will I build or will I destroy? Think of how often conflict arises not because of what happened, but because of what was said afterward. In anger, the mouth becomes a weapon. It slices without aim, it wounds without thought, and once words are spoken, they cannot be taken back. They hang in the air, they echo in the mind, they can haunt relationships for years. But when you pause, you allow the storm inside you to pass before you open your mouth. You give yourself a chance to see the full picture, to understand not just your feelings, but the consequences of your expression. In this way, you begin to speak not from the heat of the moment, but from the depth of your character. Observe the masters, the wise elders, the truly respected leaders. They rarely rush to speak. Their silence is not emptiness, but preparation. They let others speak first. They listen. They weigh their words. When they finally speak, their voice carries weight, because people know it comes from thought, not from impulse. The pause before speaking is also a sign of respect for yourself, because you refuse to let others dictate your emotions, and respect for others, because you choose not to harm them carelessly. Even in disagreement, your words can be firm without being cruel, honest without being harsh. To master this skill, you must train daily. Practice holding your tongue in moments when you feel the urge to lash out. Count to 3 before responding. Breathe deeply when emotion rises. With time, you will notice something remarkable. Not only do you avoid unnecessary conflict, but people begin to trust you more. They see you as balanced, thoughtful, dependable. In truth, the person who controls their tongue controls their destiny, because words shape relationships, relationships shape opportunities, and opportunities shape your entire life. Your mood is like the weather inside your heart. Some days it is bright and clear, some days it is heavy with clouds, and some days it rages with storms. But unlike the weather outside, the climate within you is something you can learn to control. Too many people live as slaves to their emotions. If the day begins badly, they decide it will stay that way. If someone says something hurtful, they let that comment poison their spirit for hours, even days. They allow small events to become storms that destroy their peace. But here is the truth. It is not the event that shapes your mood, it is your response to the event. A single drop of rain does not flood a city, but if you keep collecting every drop of negativity, every drop of irritation, soon you are drowning in it. The Shi Heng way teaches that emotion is a visitor, not a ruler. Anger visits, sadness visits, joy visits. None of them are permanent residents unless you invite them to stay. You must learn to welcome what is useful and gently let go of what is harmful. Regulating your emotional weather does not mean suppressing your feelings. It means becoming the observer of your feelings. It means saying, I see you, anger, but I will not hand you the steering wheel of my life. I feel you, sadness, but I will not let you color the whole sky of my day. One of the most powerful practices for emotional control is the art of the pause, not just before speaking, but before reacting to life itself. When something triggers you, imagine stepping back, as if you are watching yourself from a distance. Ask, is this worth my peace? Is this worth my time? You will find that most of the things that disturb your mood are not worth the price they demand. Someone cuts you off in traffic, let them go. Someone gossips about you. Let them speak. Their words reveal more about them than about you. In regulating your mood, you begin to radiate stability. People will notice that you are not easily shaken, that you do not swing wildly between extremes. You become like a mountain no matter how the winds blow. You remain grounded. And here is something important. The mood you hold is contagious. If you walk into a room filled with frustration, you can either absorb it or transform it. A calm presence can cool a heated room, just as a steady sun can warm a cold day. Your ability to regulate your emotional weather does not just serve you, it serves everyone around you. Most people see money only as paper, coins, or numbers on a screen. But this is a very shallow understanding. In truth, money is energy. It carries the imprint of the intentions, decisions, and discipline of the one who holds it. Like energy, money flows. It moves from one person to another, from one place to another. Sometimes it flows toward you, sometimes it flows away from you. And just like energy, it can be used to build or to destroy, to create harmony or to invite chaos. The way you treat money is a reflection of the way you treat your life. If you spend recklessly, it often means you live without foresight. If you hoard fearfully, it means you live without trust. True mastery is in balance, knowing when to invest, when to save, and when to spend in ways that nourish your growth. In the Shaolin way, we are taught that everything you own should serve a purpose, either to bring you peace, to help you grow, or to support your service to others. This applies to money as well. When you spend it, ask yourself, does this bring me closer to my purpose, or does it pull me further away? There is a difference between spending to fill a void and spending to build a future. Many people use money to mask discomfort, shopping when they are stressed, eating out when they are lonely, buying things they don't need to impress people they don't like. This is money flowing away without meaning. Over time, it leaves not only your wallet empty, but your spirit drained. But when you treat money as energy, you handle it with respect. You don't let it slip away without intention. You direct it toward things that sustain you: education, health, meaningful experiences, opportunities that will create more energy in return. And just like your own physical energy, your financial energy must be protected. If you allow every request, every temptation, every fleeting desire to take from it, you will find yourself constantly drained. Learn to say no. Learn to delay gratification. Learn to protect your resources until they can be used in ways that truly matter. Here's a simple truth: money amplifies who you already are. If you are careless, more money will lead to greater carelessness. If you are disciplined, more money will give you greater stability and freedom. Therefore, before seeking to have more, seek to become more disciplined, more intentional, more wise. When you master this perspective, you stop chasing money desperately. Instead, you attract it naturally because your habits, your mindset, and your purpose create a flow that sustains you. Money becomes not your master, but your servant, and it will work for you instead of against you. Your mind is the command center of your life. Every choice you make, every habit you form, Every path you take begins first as a thought. Yet most people walk through life without ever training their mind. They let it wander like an untamed animal, easily distracted, easily provoked, easily deceived. An untrained mind is like a room with open windows in a storm. Anything can blow in, and everything valuable can blow out. One negative comment can ruin your day. One moment of temptation can ruin your discipline. One doubt can destroy your confidence. If you do not take charge of your mind, the world will do it for you. Training the mind is not something you do once. It is a daily practice. Just as the body grows weak without exercise, the mind grows dull without discipline. The Shaolin tradition teaches that mental training is not only about gaining knowledge, but also about sharpening awareness, focus, and self-control. There are many ways to train the mind. Meditation is one of the most powerful. Sitting in stillness, observing your thoughts without clinging to them, teaches you that you are not your thoughts, you are the observer of them. This awareness creates space between stimulus and response, between impulse and action. Reading and learning also train the mind. When you expose yourself to ideas beyond your own, you expand the boundaries of what is possible for you. But it is not enough to consume information, you must reflect on it, question it, and apply it. Knowledge unused is like a sword left to rust. Another essential part of mental training is protecting your focus. In the modern world, distraction is a constant predator. Your phone, your social media, your environment all compete for your attention. If you allow your mind to be pulled in every direction, it will never develop the strength to hold a single direction for long. Set aside time each day to work without interruption, to think deeply, to immerse yourself fully in one task. And remember, training the mind also means training the inner dialogue. The words you speak to yourself are seeds. They can grow into strength or into weakness. If your inner voice is full of doubt and self-criticism, it will sabotage your actions before you even begin. Replace those thoughts with discipline, encouragement, and truth. A trained mind is calm under pressure. It sees opportunities where others see problems. It chooses patience over panic, clarity over confusion. And just like a well-trained warrior, it knows when to move and when to be still. If the body is the servant and the mind is the master, then training the master is the highest priority. For when the mind is strong, the body will follow, the emotions will obey, and life will bend toward your purpose. Life will test you. People will misunderstand you. Circumstances will frustrate you. And unexpected events will disrupt your plans. In those moments, you will face a choice. Will you react or will you respond? Reacting is instinctive. It happens in an instant, driven by emotion and impulse. It is the snap of anger when someone insults you, the rush of panic when something goes wrong, the defensive words you blurt out before thinking. A reaction may feel satisfying in the moment, but it often leaves you with regret in the aftermath. Responding is different. Responding is a conscious choice. It is the ability to step back from the situation, to breathe, to see the bigger picture before taking action. A response comes from clarity, from wisdom, from patience, not from the storm of immediate emotion. The difference between reacting and responding can determine the outcome of your relationships, your career, and even your peace of mind. A single moment of uncontrolled reaction can destroy trust that took years to build. But a thoughtful response can turn conflict into understanding, chaos into calm, and failure into opportunity. In the Shaolin way, this skill is trained like a muscle. We learn to create a space between what happens and what we do about it. That space is where power lives. That space is where you decide whether you will be a servant to your emotions or a master of them. Think of a martial artist facing an opponent. If they react blindly to every movement, They waste energy and expose themselves to unnecessary danger. But if they respond observing, anticipating, and moving with purpose, they remain in control of the fight. Life is no different. The first step to responding instead of reacting is awareness. You must notice the rise of emotion before it takes over. Anger often announces itself in your body: a tightening of the chest, a clenching of the jaw, a quickening of the breath. Fear has its own signs: a racing heart, tense shoulders, restless thoughts. When you become aware of these signals, you can choose to pause rather than explode. The second step is perspective. Ask yourself, will this matter in a day, a week, a year? Most of the things that provoke strong reactions are small in the grand scheme of life. The more you keep perspective, the more difficult it becomes for trivial things to steal your peace. And finally, the third step is intention. Before you speak, act, or decide, ask, what outcome do I want here? This shifts your focus from the heat of the moment to the bigger goal. When your actions serve your long-term purpose rather than your short-term emotions, you stop being a prisoner of the moment and start being the author of it. When you respond instead of react, you remain grounded no matter what happens around you. You stop being controlled by circumstances and start controlling your role in them. And in doing so, you gain something rare in this world: the ability to move through chaos with calm. True wealth is not measured by how much you earn, but by how much you keep and how much peace you have while keeping it. Many chase higher incomes thinking it will solve their problems, yet the more they earn, the more they spend. They become trapped in a cycle of working harder just to maintain a lifestyle that offers little real joy. Living below your means is not about deprivation, it is about freedom. It means structuring your life in such a way that your expenses are always comfortably less than your income. This gap, this breathing space, becomes the foundation for security, flexibility, and peace of mind. In the Shi Heng way, we learn that discipline is not about denying yourself what you want, it's about mastering the ability to wait, to choose, to align your actions with your long-term vision rather than your short-term cravings. The same principle applies to money. When you resist the pull of instant gratification, you gain the power to direct your resources toward what truly matters. But the second half of this principle, above your desires, is equally important. It means elevating yourself above the endless hunger for more. Modern life constantly whispers in your ear, you need the latest, the newest, the biggest, the best. This is a trap with no finish line. If you allow your happiness to depend on satisfying every new desire, you will always be chasing, never arriving. When you live above your desires, you begin to see clearly which wants are genuine and which are simply the product of impulse or influence. You stop buying things to impress others. You stop feeling envy when someone else has more. You stop measuring your worth by the size of your possessions. This doesn't mean you must avoid all pleasures or luxuries. It means you choose them intentionally as rewards for your discipline, not as escapes from your dissatisfaction. When you spend from a place of stability instead of neediness, even simple things bring greater satisfaction. Living below your means and above your desires creates a life that is steady, unshaken by the storms of economy or opinion. When unexpected challenges arise, a job loss, a medical expense, a market downturn, you have the resources and the calm to endure. And when opportunities appear to travel, to invest, to give, you have the ability to say yes without hesitation. This way of living is not just financial advice, it is a spiritual practice. It teaches humility, patience, gratitude, and foresight. It turns money from a source of stress into a source of strength, and it reminds you that real wealth is not about having everything, but about needing less. The mind is the most valuable space you will ever own. Unlike your home, no one else can live there, yet unlike your home, It is always open to influence. Every conversation you have, every image you see, every word you hear plants something inside your mind. Some seeds grow into wisdom, peace, and strength. Others grow into fear, doubt, and negativity. Most people guard their homes with locks and alarms, but they leave their minds wide open to anything. They consume hours of gossip, anger-filled debates, mindless scrolling, and fear-driven news. They allow people to pour their frustrations into them without filter. Over time, their mental space becomes cluttered, heavy, and restless. In the Shi Heng way, the mind is seen as a garden. You cannot stop every weed from appearing, but you can decide which ones you will pull out and which seeds you will plant. Protecting your mind from pollution is not about isolation, it is about cultivation. It is about choosing carefully what you allow in, because what you allow in will eventually shape what comes out. Be mindful of the conversations you engage in. Words carry energy. If you spend too much time with those who complain, criticize, or speak with malice, you will begin to carry their tone in your own voice. If you constantly feed on anger or fear, your perspective will darken until it colors everything you see. Choose your inputs wisely. Instead of starting the day with social media chaos, begin with silence, reading, meditation, or learning. Instead of filling your free moments with meaningless noise, fill them with knowledge, beauty, and inspiration. Your mind, like your body, becomes what you feed it. Protecting your mind also means protecting your focus. Every distraction you allow is like opening a window in the middle of a storm. Sooner or later, the wind will sweep away your concentration. Train yourself to close those windows when you need to work, reflect, or rest. And just as you would clean your body daily, you must clean your mind daily. Let go of grudges, fears, and replayed arguments from the past. Do not carry them into tomorrow. A polluted mind cannot see clearly, and without clarity, every decision becomes clouded. When you protect your mind from pollution, you preserve your peace. You make space for creativity, wisdom, and strength to grow. And most importantly, you ensure that your life is guided not by the noise of the world, but by the quiet strength within you. My friends, the mouth, the mood, the money, and the mind, these are not separate battles. They are connected gates that either open the way to peace or invite chaos into your life. Master one, and you strengthen the others. Neglect one, and the others will begin to weaken. When you speak with intention, you protect relationships. When you regulate your mood, you protect your peace. When you treat money with wisdom, you protect your stability. When you train your mind daily, you protect your focus. When you respond instead of react, you protect your dignity. When you live below your means and above your desires, you protect your freedom. When you guard your mind from pollution, you protect your destiny. The Shi Heng way is not about control for the sake of control, it is about harmony. It is about living in such a way that nothing outside of you has the power to disturb the strength within you. You cannot always choose the storms that come, but you can always choose how you prepare, how you stand, and how you walk forward. So, begin today with awareness, with discipline, and with the quiet confidence of one who knows that the true battle is not out there, it is in here.